Because I was always, when we think about this question, what is the point of being absorbed in the process? What is the point of doing Shravana? What is the point of doing Kirtana? What is the point of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? Actually, they slowly bring us into the level of being a human. That means, from a quality perspective, developing the divine qualities of the Lord and his representatives is practically impossible to anyone through their own endeavor. The process of bhakti is a process of acceptance. The process of bhakti is not a point of cultivating or developing something, but it is a point of our submission. No doubt, if we have questions, we inquire in the mood. We should have that right mood to inquire also. Inquiring also, one should have attitude. What kind of questions I'm asking? Who is there? We should also know the Vaishnava etiquette, and we should submit through to that etiquette in a very genuine way. So, to the point of the question which we were supposed to discuss yesterday or day before yesterday, but we couldn't. We'll discuss that question first. I don't know whether we remember that question or not, but let me tell that question. The question is, Shital Mataji, correct me, the question is wrong. We have so many speakers in the YouTube. So one speaker who is speaking, he might speak only one thing. He might not give the whole thing. But if I begin hearing from different speakers, they will also give so much. That means what is happening? The wealth is increasing, the knowledge is increasing. So the question is, how should we hear? Should we hear from everyone? If yes, how we should hear? If not, then why we should not hear? So, as an answer to that question, it's a little sensitive, but I think it is important to understand. And it is up to every individual whether to follow it or not. Because the end of the day, Lord is giving independence to everyone. For example, I'll tell an example before we begin this. There was a person who this is a very old story. That person follows spirituality. Oh, he goes and then gives pravachan, gives discourse. And then in the discourse, he's telling, you shouldn't eat onion and garlic because onion and garlic is raja and tama. Rajoguna, they provocate rajoguna and tamoguna. So it is not good. He's telling everyone, you should not eat onion and garlic. And then in the pravachan, his wife is also sitting. So his wife is also hearing husband speaking. She was happy, husband is speaking. Her husband came home. Then she's making a preparation. He's eating that. He started asking why there is no onion and garlic. Then she started quoting what he said. Just now you told that you shouldn't accept onion and garlic. So I heard, I was also there in the class. I heard that and then I stopped using it. Then he immediately said, that is only for pravachan. It is not for our thing. We can eat onion and garlic. So why am I telling that is, यद्यद् आचरते शेष तत्तदेव तोजनः. The Lord is, he'll tell in the Gita, we haven't come to that sloka yet. He tells to Arjuna that Arjuna, I tell through my following. यद्यत् आचरते श्रेष्ठ तत्तदेव तरो जनः. I tell through the following. It's an easy statement. It's an easy blanket statement to just to say, okay, let us all surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But how do I do that? What is the process? What is a step-by-step process? And then how should I get connected? How should I go deeper? This question, a couple of days back, I was talking to a devotee. We were discussing as part of that. The devotee is fast Christian since 15, 20 years. He's telling Prabhu, we hear about all of this process. We say about surrender, we hear about dependency, we hear about submission. But how do I do that? I have material desires. I have process of sometimes I get a desire to do something materially. I want to increase my wealth, and all of a sudden, I also get a desire to do pure devotion. What should I do? Which is this my situation? How should I deal about this? I said, Prabhu, this is a very honest answer because generally, if whoever is practicing for 10 or 5, 10 years, they don't disclose anything because they think that they know everything, or they're in another state of another they're in another state of illusion. So the speaker who's also speaking, he might also be in that state. So the question is, should I hear from everyone? Okay, let us take that. If we begin hearing from everyone, let us take that case. Let's say I take myself as an example. Let's say I begin, because generally when I come to the process, I used to serve at New Vrindavan temple. We used to have so many guests at the temple, so many speakers coming to the temple, everyone sharing their realizations, reflection. Just note out, it will give one level of realization, one level of inspiration. Definitely it will give inspiration, no doubt, because you just came to the process, you're trying to get the hands on from everyone, which is good. They're also practicing the process, they're sharing their reflections. It's great. But as you move into the process, I'll give an example. Let's say one senior Vaishnava comes and tells book distribution is best. You should do book distribution. So when the person is telling that and he's actually really doing it, then what we have to do as a sadhaka is you should surrender to that person. If he is allowing us to take that association, or if he's giving us an opportunity to go deeper into the realms of Krishna consciousness through book distribution, absolutely fine. Prabhupada confirmed that. If you do book distribution, it's a service. That means you chant Hare Krishna, you follow four regular principles, and then your primary service is to do book distribution. Giving an example. If your swabhava is that, if your nature is that, yes, go well and do well and great. If you're connected to that, fix to that person. This is number one, right? Next devotee comes, another advanced Vaishnava. So this Vaishnava says cow protection is the best. What did he say? Cow protection is the best. And you are convinced with that. Go surrender to that person. And then dedicate your life to that person. And then do cow protection. Let's say if he has a farm, go live in the farm. That's great. If your swabhava is meeting that, if your nature is meeting that, and he is ready to give the relationship, go do that. Number two. Number three, deity worship. One devotee comes and tells, deity worship is the best. Let us do this. Go to Mayapur or Vrindavan, become a pujari, lead your life. You have to be convinced in that. Three. Fourth one, preaching. The person who is actually coming and telling, he said preaching is the essence. We have to preach the mission of Krishna consciousness. If you feel convinced with that, go submit to that person. Hear from him more how to do preaching. Learn from him the depths of Krishna consciousness and make your life as that path. Go. March, do preaching. Do that. Number four. Another category. Number five. There's six, seven, eight, so many other things. Just you heard from seven, eight devotees, they have one flavor. They have individual flavors because their swabhava is that. Please understand. Their nature is that. For example, if a person's nature is doing corporate, that is his nature. That means he has that kind of relationship in the spiritual world. His nature is that he connects to the Lord through that process. Okay, that is one. One person does book distribution, another person does DT service, another person does some other service, another person does some other, and you go and connect to that person who can help you in that. And then obviously you take Diksha because you're in the process, you get initiated. That initiation is a beginning asset. Then after that, you have to, because we have to do this process, not this life, life after life, to get that perfection. If you reach the perfection in this life, you'll come back to Godhead. But if there are traces of some desires to be fulfilled, then we will be coming back. Now, what am I doing after coming back? Again, I'll practice the process. Again, I have to get connected to a Vaishnava, serve him, submit to him, lead a life of Krishna consciousness, move forward, get initiated, take the association of Shiksha Guru, and then continue. If Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru are same, that's well and good. If they are different, just submit to both the persons and then move forward. This is another. But the core problem which is coming is if these personalities are not offering the relationship, that is the problem. If they are not available to extend themselves. Obviously, Diksha Guru cannot extend because he has thousands of disciples, just like Vamshira Show was mentioned. Or we need to find a Sikshana, a teacher. And that teacher should be selfless. That teacher should be a surrendered soul. That teacher should be very dedicated to his spiritual master, the spiritual teacher. He should dedicate his life to that process. Find that person, then submit to him, move forward. But you have to stick on to that person. But up until that point of time, there is a chance, there is a grace period where you can assess the person and try to hear from them. If your heart is getting connected, move forward. If your heart is not getting connected, ask, why is my heart not getting connected? Then they'll tell, this is what, this is what. If still your heart is not connected, they'll tell more. If still your heart is not connecting, then you have to find another person. As simple as that. Matter of fact, you can ask that person only, I'm unable to connect. Can you have, is there a way to connect? If you're very genuinely sincere, they will show the path. The only problem in all of these things is if you are not sincere. For example, I'm hearing from all these 7, 8 people, but I'm not following anything. It's like Prabhupada is telling. Prabhupada, one time a devotee, not a devotee, a guest would come to Srila Prabhupada, started asking, Swamiji, Buddhism, it is telling like this, Christianity it is telling like this, you're telling like this. Which one to follow? Prabhupada immediately said, you follow, you stick on to one process. And be sincere to that process. And Prabhupada immediately said, you're asking so many things, but you're not following anything. Prabhupada said, that's a problem. Likewise, within the jurisdiction of the process of Shravana and Kirtana, you might be hearing from so many guests. Just like you are hearing now. You might be hearing from different Vaishnavas. But I say one thing, stick to one person. Slowly, slowly. At a stretch, you cannot. Slowly, slowly, you should aspire for that. You should stick to that person. And then try to learn Krishna consciousness through that. For example, let me tell you something. Arjuna, in chapter 1 of Gita, he was kept in a difficult state, which we all discussed. Arjuna was kept in a difficult state. What he did? He opened up his wisdom. He started speaking why he shouldn't fight. He has reasons and logics for that. They're all very valid reasons as per the scriptures. As per the Shastras, as per the knowledge which he gained, those are all valid reasons. Those valid reasons, but this seems to be external from an external perspective, this seems to be very illogical also. But if you see all of those knowledge and the jnana which he has shown, but that jnana is keeping in him in a perplexed state later on. Exactly in the first chapter. And then he says, my dear Lord, I'm fried out. There is no, I don't see any hope right now. I spoke a lot, but still my heart is not satisfied. That means what is happening? The jnana, the knowledge is deviating. Let's say I started hearing from 20, 30, 40, 50 speakers. Means I randomly open some video and then try hearing. I'll tell you there is another catch here. For example, if a person is speaking on the YouTube, there might be great Vaishnavas, exalted. But you should see, is there a way I can connect to that person? Is there a way I can do any service to that person? If you really like that person, is there a way I can connect? Because it's YouTube, right? You cannot serve YouTube. You have to connect to that person. And that person should also know who you are. If there is a platform like that, great. Go and submit to that person and then move forward in Krishna consciousness. But if you're just hearing for knowledge, but you're not submitting to that person, whoever he's telling, and then when you submit to that person should be in a position to connect you to our Acharya Guru Parama. That means he should be very pure. He shouldn't have any other motive. If he's not connecting, rather he's connecting to himself, then you will not get benefit, he will not get benefited through that. That is another thing. There's no harm in watching YouTube videos in YouTube, but how am I connected to that person? Making sense? So the distance doesn't matter. You should know the person. The person tells something, if you're in a position to do that, that is the process of submission. If that is not established, then the jnana will just remain as jnana. I always think about this. Why is Krishna only giving this truth to Arjuna? Why is he not giving this truth to Duryodhana? So he's also his relative. Just like Krishna, Arjuna is brother-in-law. Duryodhana is also brother-in-law of Krishna. They have a relation. Why is Krishna not giving the truth to Duryodhana? Because Duryodhana doesn't feel that relation. Duryodhana is not in a position to accept the magnanimity of the Supreme Personality of God. It's not like Krishna will only talk whoever is accepting his magnanimity. It's not like that. What Krishna is watching is their sincerity. Making sense? There, Krishna is watching what? Well, Krishna is actually watching their sincerity. No, Arjuna was in that state. He was very honest. That pleased the Lord so much. Arjuna, he actually expressed his heart. That is what won the heart of the Lord. Please understand this, dear devotees. It's important. Arjuna expressed something. That expression is what is. Through that expression, Krishna was immensely pleased. Arjuna submitted himself because he felt that Krishna, you're the only source through which this problem can be dissipated. So you have to find that kind of a person who's a representative of the Lord, who's a representative of his spiritual master. If you find that person and then submit to him, and then hear from him, and then follow exactly what he's telling, then you'll make immense progress in Krishna consciousness. Now we have to find that person. It's a responsibility. As a sadhaka, it's a responsibility to find that kind of a person in our life. And then if that person is connecting us to Guru Parampara, you're connected to the process. Because through that process of Shikshana, you follow your regulative principles. You chant your rounds. You'll be fixed up with the process. You know how to deal with in this world. You know how to deal with Vaishnavas. You know how to respect them. You know the relationship between the Vaishnavas and the Lord. You know the relationship between the Vaishnavas and their spiritual masters, their teachers. It's all being connected through this. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it is harm to watch YouTube, to watch discourses in YouTube. It is great, you can watch, but you should ask this question before watching. Am I connected to this person? Am I surrendering to him? No doubt, initially you might acquire some knowledge, but if it is stopping there, generally 99.99% it stops there because there's no connection. But when that submission comes, then you see your life will be different. But if that submission is not coming, then the life will be totally different. That means you hear, you might get a desire to follow, but the following, there will be gap in the following. That means yajit atirtesya tat tat eva tarojana. That means what is being told, what is being followed, you see a gap. This gap is very dangerous in Krishna consciousness. What leads to this gap is, this gap leads to greatest catastrophes, greatest calamities, greatest problems in the process of spirituality, on the name of spirituality. Because it leads to havoc. Because if you actually see closely, Krishna spoke to Arjuna only after his submission. Krishna did not speak to Arjuna up until that point of time. For example, if I begin hearing from YouTube, let's say he's speaking about Ras Leela, I'm not yet there. If I hear about Ras Leela, how will that be connected to me? Because you can hear Ras Leela also in the YouTube. You can hear all the passions of the Lord, but how is it connected to me? There should be a connection. For example, if you are hearing from a person if you are hearing from a person where the person knows you and you know the person who's speaking, then the person knows exactly which medicine to be given to you. Watching YouTube videos is like generic drug. But if you have a specific person, that specific person knows you, the specific person knows where the problem is, then he will give specific medicine only specifically for you. That's not a generic drug anymore. That is modified. Generic drug will work great, or the medicine which is actually strictly given to you, will that work more? Now, the same person who's speaking on the YouTube, that person can also give the specific drug to you. But that person should also know you. If you got connected to, if the person is available to give that, that is great. But if the person is not available, then it's a problem. So this clarity you should understand. Very, very important. There might be great Vaishnavas speaking in YouTube, but we should be very careful. How much are they connected or related to us? That's also very important. And generally, relations are there on the knowledge level, but that relation on the knowledge level should be extended one. The question should be, no doubt, initially we might be asking questions on the jnana level, but the question should be on the heart level. So this is my heart. This is how my heart is responding. What should I do in this situation? All of a sudden, since last 1 week, I was all good, but this is today somehow this Rajo is dominating. What should I do? You should be very specific. Specific questions, specific answers, specific drugs. Generic question about the Lord and the gopis. The Lord and the gopis is great to hear, but how gopis got connected to the Lord, and then what did they do to get connected to the Lord, and then what should I do to get connected to them? These questions are more personal. That means questions, questions also question nature should also be addressed. Example, you can ask some questions in the knowledge. And sometimes some devotees will also share this. Prabhu, this Prabhupada did not spoke like this. He spoke like this. Okay. That's great. Prabhupada, when Prabhupada says that's well and good. But we are reflecting on the knowledge level. We should go deeper. We should understand the heart of Srila Prabhupada. If you understand the heart of Srila Prabhupada, surrender is the next step. But we should come to that plane. If we don't come to that plane, then the process will be superficial. That means we stay in the knowledge level. That knowledge level will not help us, moving forward. Just like Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj or dear Vamshila Prabhu was reading the translation, or Bhaktivinoda Thakur Maharaj is telling the point of submission, is telling the point of surrender, is telling the point, oh, my dear Lord, I have to submit. I haven't submitted to you. See, the prayer, this is more of a personal prayer. This is prayer of the heart. It's like Vaishnavas, they pray, oh, my dear Lord, I'm very lowly, I'm very fallen. You please help me and guide me. What is that prayer? They are actually seeing their condition. They're actually seeing their situation and then leading their life according to that. So these things we have to address, dear devotees. We have to address our heart. Because the heart problem is kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. So the person from which we are hearing, he should actually bring out those things. Should actually remove those things. Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara. That is the correct section. Because if the kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsara are removed, then the jiva comes to the safe of nishta. He is working on his anarthas. And the kama, krodha, moha, when the lust, greed, anger, and false ego, pride are removed, the anartha nivritti is gone. So the devotee comes to the plane of nishta. That means he is continuously in the state of Shravana and Kirtana. Then Ruchi, taste to the process of Shravana, taste to the process of Kirtana. Kirtana is glorification. Taste to the process of chanting of Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. You will not miss your rounds. You'll miss your prasad also, but you'll not miss your rounds. It's going internal, going internal. That means connecting to that realm is very important. Find that person, connect to that person, move forward. Assess that person before really connecting to that person. That is also important. For example, if a person is speaking on YouTube, how can I assess him? Cannot assess. So we should ask certain devotees about that person whom which we are speaking, whom which we are hearing. Now, how is this person? What is his? What is his mode? What does he do? What is his life? What does he do all day? So all the questions which we need to inquire. And how deeply is connected to the process? How deeply is submitted to his teacher? These are all the questions, right? These details is important. For example, you are sending your child to a school. Don't you check the school, which school it belongs to, where is he coming from, how many teachers they have, who is the principal of it, what kind of school it is? Do they teach some value education or do they teach some Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam? I'm just telling you. You check everything, right? Likewise, you have to check because this is a lifeline. It's lifelong commitment in devotees. You have to check, you have to assess, you have to go deep, you have to dive deeper. For example, if I want to dive at different places, then how can I go deeper? For example, if I'm hearing from all of those personalities, then how will I get connected to deeper levels of Krishna consciousness? How will I understand the deeper realms of Krishna consciousness? Very important. If you want to go deeper, Should find that kind of a person who does that, who is helping us also to clear out our anarthas which are there in the heart. There is anxiety. Why is this anxiety coming? Why is my mind anxious about so many things? For example, tell an example, you're eating prasad. The mind will begin to think about what kind of sweet they have next. Or the mind will begin to think, oh, what kind of, do they have like rasam? Do they have this, that, so many other things? You just started eating the first morsel. Are you're not remembering this? Are who has cooked this? Who prepared this? Are this is such a beautiful preparation. But the mind wants to go to some other, the next steps. That means it's a very clear indication that mind is chanchala. How to curb that? Should ask our teachers. Oh, how should I do this? Or how did you come out of this? Should I ask this question also? How did you came out of this? How are you coming out of this? Or how are you practicing since years? I remember when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I was asking this wonderful Prabhupada disciple. I was asking, oh, you've been practicing this 50 years? What is the secret? We've been practicing the process since 50 years. What is the secret? You're serving very nicely. I asked him in a humble mode, what is the process? What is the secret? He said, Shravana Kirtan. That imprinted in the heart. He said, glories of Lord Chaitanya. Meditate on that. Meditate on Sikshastakam. Meditate on the Vaishnavas of Lord Chaitanya. You will not see. I was asking him another question later. If I'm seeing faults, I'm seeing faults in devotees also. Oh, dear teacher, what should I do? Dear Maharaj, what should I do? Just trying to, I'm seeing faults also in the devotees, but how to come out of this? Then he said, your absorption is external, your absorption should be internal. Your absorption should be on the Vaishnavas. Your absorption should be on the core principles of the Acharyas. Now, it's an interesting thing which I wanted to tell and would like to conclude, and then we'll discuss this further because there is more. I haven't yet told anything on this. There is a statement called A plus B into A minus B. What is A plus B into A minus B? Can someone tell? If anyone remembers. There's a sutra. What is the sutra? Anyone? What is A plus B into A minus B?
A squared minus B squared.
A square minus B square. Right? We read this in our fourth grade, or fifth grade, or sixth, seventh, eighth grades. Why these sutras are given? Actually, what is the correct way? If you don't know the sutra also, you can solve that. You multiply the first letter into two letters, and then again you multiply A into A and then A into B. Later on you multiply B into A and then B into B. Right? If you do that, you'll get sutra only. A square minus B square. So even if you don't know the sutra, there is a way to come to that sutra, come to that principle or the solution, right? But in Krishna consciousness, you don't have to know the process. You have to know the sutra. And then if you follow the sutra, you are connected. That is what Shikshana is. Remember, my instructing spiritual master, he gives the Shikshana, he gives the sutra. Through that sutra, what happens is, if I just follow that sutra, I get the result. How do I know that I'm getting the result? Heart is pacified. Just like Arjuna is pacified. Duryodhana is not pacified because he never heard any sutras. He has so many people around him, but he has all those people for his benefit. But he's thinking that what is his benefit? His benefit is to get the dynasty, get the kingdom. But he is missing the real benefit of Krishna consciousness because as his full desire is filled with filled with the kingdom, he is unable to know what is the real thing. But Arjuna is not like that. He is an open heart. And then through that open heart, what he did? He did submission. Likewise, that A plus B into A minus B, there is a process to come to a solution. But we don't have to go through the process. We've been given the sutras. See, what is Shikshashtaka? Is the sutras. Trinadapi Sunichana. What is that? It's a sutra. To come to the state of Trinadapi Sunichana, you can go through the process of Avaroha Panta. Go through the process of Avaroha Panta, which is ascending knowledge. There's two kinds of knowledge, descending knowledge and ascending knowledge. Aroha Panta, Avaroha Panta. In the process of descending means the sutras are given. In the process of ascending means you have to find that sutra. So our acharyas, they have all done it. They have all given that process. All we need to do is we need to have that mood to accept that sutra and move forward. That acceptance of the sutra is given by our instructing spiritual master. No doubt our Diksha Guru, he gives everything. But what this instruction teacher does is, he has also a special role. What he does is, he brings a conviction in that sutra. It's like Diksha Guru, he says on the day of initiation, he says, "Oh, you all vow." Then we all say, we'll chant, my dear Gurudev will chant Hare Krishna, will follow 4 principles, we'll chant 16 rounds sincerely in the mode of servant, and we'll serve the mission of Srila Prabhupada in the mode of the servant of the servant of the servant. We'll take the vow and then move on. Now, to come to that state, this is a sutra. What Shikshana will do is, the Shikshana will give conviction to that sutra. That's the beauty. Now, when you get conviction and the faith, then that becomes your life and so on. That means now you're no longer a parrot in the cage, but rather you're a parrot outside the cage. What the parrot outside the cage will do? Fly. So the Shikshana, they teach us that. How that means the moment you come out of the Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Madanatsara, come out of three gunas, Trividam, Narakashyadam, Dhar, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nistraigunya Bharjunaha, then that state is achieved. That means you are free from this anartha. Then what do you do? Oh, this person helped me so much. He cleared me from all these anarthas. Let me serve him nicely. In the mode of servant of the servant of the servant. That's how you submit to those personalities. And this comes through one person. And our process of spirituality, we should find that person. Hare Krishna. I'll stop here and see if anyone has any questions for a couple of minutes and then we'll conclude. Amma, is that okay? Yes.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the clarification. Yes, I really like the point like which you have bring out. Like in the YouTube, I'm connected to the person, but the uh acharyas, the guruji who are instructing those, they are not connected to me, and they don't know where I'm stucking out and where I have to improve myself. That thing is missing, the major part is missing. So and yeah, I really like this point, and yeah, I will follow like one like start following one person that will bring more information. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Actually, when you follow one person, what happens is you see transformation in the heart.
Yeah, because
Actually, I'll
I
come.
was, yeah, this is like I'm giving you the live example, which I'm like, I'm not connected to them, but I'm like, okay, but when I started the classes with you, Prabhuji, I felt myself where exactly I am, where I have to improve and correct myself. And it gives me also like the like some of my burden is gone, where I am like slipping off and all. So it's you are helping me a lot, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for all of your wonderful service. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. By the mercy of the spiritual master, they give all that. I remember when I was saying that, I'm remembering my spiritual master who has protected me from so many calamities. Still protecting. So that is a mood. When Srila Prabhupada, such an exalted personality, it's great, dear devotees. You know to what we are connected? We're connected to an amazing process. Srila Prabhupada had thousands of disciples. More than 5,000 disciples. He had more than 100 temples. And he was actually addressing everyone's heart needs also. And one time a reporter was asking, so Swamiji, oh, looks like you are the emperor. You are like the guru of everyone here. Wow, it's great. She was trying to pull him down, through their own way of American way of trying to pull the sadhus. Then Swamiji immediately put his head down, started telling, I'm the servant of everyone. I'm not the master. Master is my spiritual master. And he started telling, he was very grave, started telling, these are all the words of my spiritual master. These are not my words. These are all his words. I'm so much indebted to him. I'm so much indebted to the process. But dear devotees, this conviction was not there before I met my instructing spiritual master. I'll tell you this. Because I had no love towards Srila Prabhupada before that. But now, as I am worshipping, as I am respecting my teacher, through that respect, I'm getting love towards the acharyas. They devoted it's a very genuine, practical process of connecting. It's a bhakti, dear devotees. For bhakti, I should know you. For bhakti, it's a process. We should be grateful for everything. And even now, I don't forget Vamshila Shravu. He connected me to this group. I always remember him because he was the one who connected me. So I remember my spiritual master telling one thing. The first time when he went to the temple for the first time, 20 years back, when he went to the temple, one devotee told him to do nourishing prayer. And then Prabhu was instructing spiritual master. He chanted very with love and affection. And then after that, you know what happened? Something astonishing. He went to that person who told him to chant that prayer, and then he offered him full dandavat. And then he started telling, yes, you see, thank you. You gave me opportunity to chant. I'm grateful. I'm grateful to you. I don't know. I don't know what is bhakti, but I wanted to offer you obeisances. So this is the commitment of these kind of personalities. Oh, when I heard that for the first time, I was so amazed after hearing the qualities of this kind of Vaishnavas, pure souls. His quality is amazing. No, he was not connected to anyone at that time. But see his genuine quality which he has. Then I understood one thing. He said, whoever is helping you in your spiritual life, through some way, shape, or form, never ever forget those personalities. Because actually through them you are seeing the presence of your spiritual master and the Lord through them. That means actually those personalities are actually coming and helping. That means Krishna is actually personally helping us through that person. Our spiritual master is personally helping through that person. So there is a deep science which is running behind, which we have no idea. So there is a lot, dear devotees, in the process. The more you get connected, the more you hear, the more you understand the truth. I remember my spiritual master telling, dear spiritual master, should I do any service? He says, he don't say that you're not in that state. He says, just hear, just do hearing, just do hearing. So it's a very genuine process, dear devotees. If you really hear, really understand, you get connected for sure. Because the Shravana is very powerful. And the Shravana should be heard from those souls who really want to connect to this process, or who are aspiring to get connected to that process. To be honest, I don't know what is Krishna consciousness. I don't know what is the spiritual master. I don't know what is bhakti, but I'm learning. I'm sincerely trying to learn the science of Krishna consciousness. For that, I'm taking the association of your spiritual master. I'm taking the association of Srila Prabhupada. I'm taking all of your association. You're all sincere souls. Please continue. My request, please continue. Please hear this such. Try slowly, try to apply certain things in your life. Do the best. If you do the best, Krishna will give you the best. Hare Krishna. Once again, if I caused any inconvenience from my words, please excuse me. Hare Krishna. We'll continue this discussion. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. Now we can conclude with Random prayers. Jai Om
Yes,
Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya Stottara Shata Abhay Charanara Vinda His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON DBT Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya Stottara Shata His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय। मायापुर धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। द्वारका धाम की जय। गंगा माँ यमुना माँ की जय। भक्ति देवी तुलसी देवी की जय। समवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदी हरि हरि बोल। All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Uma Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadharine Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataranam Shri Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Gurue Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalai कृष्णाय कृष्ण भक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुपश्च कृपा सिंधु एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, have an amazing Krishna conscious Monday. Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all. Thank you all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Shilas Prabhuji ki jai, Prabhuji ki
Srila
jai.
Prabhupada.
Shri Shri Prabhuji ki Pali Mataji, Krishna Mataji, all devotees ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Subala Gopal Prabhuji ki jai. Baldev Seva Prabhuji ki jai. Shishil Prabhuji ki jai. All devotees ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.